Hi, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you've joined today. Whether you're watching live on StreamYard or live on YouTube or on Facebook, any of the above, or if you're watching a replay, I'm glad to have you here. I am Kelly Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas. Easy for me to say. Get my tongue tangled today. Hope y'all are having a great weekend. It's been beautiful weather here, especially for November. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. Love living in Lubbock most of the time. It's awesome. So I love being a demonstrator too. If you've ever thought about being a demonstrator and want to talk to me about joining my team, we have a wonderful Create with Kelly crew here who support each other and love getting together. We just had a retreat this weekend and I'll show you that. Let's see if I can get you a photo of that real quickly while we're waiting and see if anybody's coming on right now. This is the retreat that we just did recently with 16 different cards. We had 10 people and 16 cards, and I'll be doing videos of all those, and I'm currently working on a tutorial. So let me know if you're interested. I will be selling the tutorial. It is a lot of work to do, like the cards were, but of course the live event here in person really made it worthwhile. So really enjoyed that. I'll get back to my regular pick here. And let's see who we have with us. Please comment when you come on. Would love to know who you are. And even if it's a replay, if you've got any questions, I will try to, if I get a notification and see it, I'll be glad to answer your question. If not, you can email me anytime at kelly@createwithkelly.com. Would love to have you sign up for my mailing list. That would be with the createwithkelly.com blog. Also have a YouTube channel that's Create with Kelly Pitts and Create with Kelly Facebook page. And then there's a Create with Kelly crew group on Facebook. So lots of ways to connect. Would love to have you. But today I'm going to get going on this simple little card. And I saw this one. This is one of the 16. Well, I think it's the only one of the 16 actually that I pretty much cased from somebody else. It was just so simple and so cute. And Susanne at Sunn Stampin, S-U-N-N, did this card. And it was basically the same thing. I may have used a little bit different colors. I'm not quite sure. I know I made this a little darker. I'm not sure what other changes I made. I just saw hers, and the stacked Christmas tree idea was in the catalog, the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, and I just loved it. So I thought, how fun to do one easy card during my retreat. So this is the typical 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then I cut a piece of the designer series paper with the regular rounder light bulbs, and that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Typical frame. And then I cut a deckled rectangle out of it to use on a different card, so I don't waste all that paper inside. I almost always do that. I try to. Don't, since it doesn't show, might as well use it, right? So we're just going to apply that with an even border. You can do that with your Stampin' Seal or with your liquid glue, whatever is your favorite. And let's see, we'll go ahead and stamp that first. I'll move this out of the way, this out of the way, and we will get let's go ahead and do our little background. This is just done with a blending brush, easy peasy. It just shows up a lot better against the white in the designer series paper if you've got a little bit of color on here, but I didn't want a solid yellow, so this worked out great to use the crushed curry. And we are using a lot of inks today. Let me just show you. That's a lot of different inks to use on one card, especially a simple card. But really, we just use a little bitty bit of each one. But just in case you want the color palette in advance, there you have it. All right, we're going to start with crushed curry. And we're using a blending brush. And when you use a blending brush, you want to make sure and tap on the pad, and then always, let's do it Let's see how we can do that, or y'all can see it better. Okay, we're going to tap on the pad, and then you tap that excess ink off. See, so you get that messy part, you get that off of there, off of the brush, what's kind of gobs up on there. And then you go in from the side. In a circular motion is what I've found works best. And most of this, a lot of it's going to be covered up anyway. But you always want to tap off. That is the secret to getting the smooth blending. And if you start with a pretty light layer, that's going to do better for you. It's better to go over it several times to get it as dark as you want it. Because if you go too much to start with, you can't take it off. But you can always add to if you want to. So I want these edges to be kind of curry-ish. And then I want a little bit of variation in the actual surface itself. So we're going pretty quickly today. Hopefully I'm not shaking the camera too much. Yikes, I haven't been watching. Trying to make it quick for y'all, especially those who are just doing the little training and trying to learn how to make these cards because you already have your kit to go. All right, that's all the crushed curry for that piece. Now we're going to go ahead and stamp. While we've got the curry out, we're going to stamp our little star. And I'm trying to figure out a good place to put these stamps. I guess this will do right here. Okay. And there's a cute little star that's kind of whimsical. That's the one I used on here. That's in the Marion Bright stamp set, this one. And then there's also a star that is it's about the same size, but it has straighter sides. So I'm going to switch and use that one today, just so y'all can kind of see the difference. And this Merriest Trees set is just wonderful also. I've used this one and the Marion Bright on tons of the 16 cards that I did for the retreat. So this one we're going to use the little tree trunk, and we're going to use the star off of that one. So while we've got the crushed curry out, whoops, not what I wanted. We'll use our little stamping pad. I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll stamp our little star. And we're just going to use a little strip of paper. You know how you always have that scrap piece of paper left after you cut your 8.5 by 11 down into for your insides. Cut them to 4 by 5 1/4 usually. And so you always have those leftover strips, and I saved those, which is perfect for this stamp set because it is easy peasy to just stamp these greetings on here and then fussy cut them out. It just takes a minute because they're straight, easy. And let's see here. We've got, let's take the star off and we'll put the A. I think I'm going to change my mind and go ahead and do them in order here. We'll put the crushed curry up since we're finished with that one. And our A is going to be in Blueberry Bushel. And on these stamps, just make sure you really get it coated really well on all sides, all the edges. See how I'm kind of moving that around? And then looking on the back to make sure it's coated everywhere because you want a good solid image. You don't have to leave a lot of room between your stamps because you're going to fussy cut around it, leave a small white border, but you don't need a lot of room. You don't want a big border. So there's A. And let's see if I can get that a little closer. All right, we're looking for Mary. That's going to be in, we're going to do that in Melon Mambo, or I think we'll do it in Poppy Parade. I'm going to change up that little, I'm going to add that to our color list, Poppy Parade. I think that's what I used instead of Melon Mambo. On this one, I'll get that little tiny star put up before I lose it. Okay, so we're going to close up our blueberry bushel that we used on the A. Do our Mary. Whoops, I'm going to do what I say. Really get it coated well. I almost missed that one. And we've got some excess over here, but yeah, let's just go ahead and wipe it off because that's a good habit to be into. Wipe that off, even though we're not getting it on the rest of the card because we're only stamping on this little bitty strip. There's our Mary in Poppy Parade. Get that one cleaned off. Put that up. Then we're going to have Anne Bright. I'm going to go ahead. You could do that in Lemon Lime Twist or Granny Apple Green. We'll try Lemon Lime Twist on this one just for y'all to see the difference. Except I've already shown you that color palette. Oh well. Okay. We'll stick with Granny Apple Green. And we're going to say Anne Bright for that one. Anne Bright. Okay. Anne Bright. Just kind of looking all over, make sure that's coated well. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight on here because we're going to fussy cut it out. And it's kind of a whimsical thing too, so you don't have to stress out about it. All right, Mary and Bright. Do any of y'all watching have this set? Would love to know if anybody else is as addicted to using it as I am. It has been so much fun playing with it. There's so many different looks you can get from it. All right, we're going to find the Christmas stamp. And let's see, there's a have a. We're not going to use that one. Put that up. Found it. Okay, Christmas. All right, I don't think that's going to fit on this little piece of white, so we have plenty more strips. And whoever's watching would love to know who you are and where you're from. If you'll put that in the comments, that would be great. Or if you want to remain anonymous, that's just hunky-dory. I'm happy to have you watching. Hope you'll share my video with your crafty friends. And if you need any Stampin' Up! Products, I am happy to help you with anything we're using today. We've got all kinds of wonderful goodies in our annual catalog and our September through December mini catalog, which is what the majority of this is from. Okay, putting up Christmas. Okay. Next, we have To You and Yours. And I don't have that one mounted yet. Let's see. I'm going to take off the Holly Jolly. And we're going to put on To You and Yours. And this one is a crazy, crazy Christmas color. But it is in the Designer Series paper right here. So that's what we're using. And it is Flirty Flamingo. Who would have thought Flirty Flamingo on a Christmas card? Huh. But that's what we're doing. All right. Flirty Flamingo, here we come. Tap, 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 and do the edges, top, sides, all that. I have it on the block. But you just almost have to do what you normally don't do and turn in it kind of where you get all the angles here. For some reason, that block just needs to really get coated well. Oops, sorry. Y'all tell me in the comments if I get off screen or do something where y'all can't see, or you have a question, I'm happy to help. Well, we can totally move that out of the way now that we're done with our blending brush. Okay, a Merry and Bright Christmas to you and yours. And then we'll do the inside piece. And we'll cut these out. This is going to be a horizontal card. This one, I used the blueberry bushel on the inside and used the cute little Santa was here. Greetings, sentiment. And we're going to try a flirty flamingo bulb for this one, just for something a little different on the inside. See how we like that. See how I did that? And I should have done my little cord first, but I think I'm going to have plenty of room here. Use some pressure, make sure we get that solid. It's a pretty flirty flamingo. And then we're going to use the filament inside also. And this is the little bit bigger one that I used on the previous card, if y'all watched that video also. There are two different sizes of the filaments. You can see here. And I use this one on the skinny bulb, the smaller one on the skinny bulb, and the larger one on the bigger, fatter bulb. Skinny, rounder. All right. And there's only one dye for a filament that works for both. Just FYI. Okay, we're going to use, we'll go ahead with the Flirty Flamingo filament. We'll go ahead and stamp that. And it, normally when you do a tone on tone like that, this stays a little darker than the, since it's a more concentrated stamp. It's a finer line, so it's more concentrated than that other spread out solid area. The solid area is going to be lighter, so it will still show up, even though it's tone on tone, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And, oops, I forgot to stamp my little tree trunk earlier. We'll come back to that. Okay, Shaded Spruce is next. We're going to do our little base. Seems like it's a socket, but it said base in the, when I googled light bulb, it said that was the base. So we're going to try to line that up. Really stamp it down so you get a good solid image. There we go. And we're going to go with our little cord. I'm going to see which way we want to go on that. Let's clean that off where I get it all over my arms and hands and everywhere else. See if I want to go this way. Yep, I think I can do that. Okay, we're just going to turn that. And you can kind of make this work any way you want. You just don't want that loop. Like, see, I've got a little bit of ink up on this part. I don't want that to show. I don't think it will, but just in case, I'm going to get that off. Okay. I'm trying to go off the edge on both sides and still go through that loop. And we can fix it with a marker if that didn't go all the way through. That kind of right there where I cleaned it, it shows up. So we may have to work on that just a little bit with the marker. And our Stampin' Wrap markers will fix that right up. There we go. And if you want to make one side or the other of this the front, where it looks like it goes a little bit better over the cord, that's great. All right, got that fixed. Now we need our little tree trunk that I forgot to stamp earlier. And that's from the Merriest Trees set, like I said. Just going to stamp that on there. And I think that's all of that. Now we just need to mount the Santa was here. I didn't have enough blocks to mount every single one of these stamps. Alrighty, let's see here. We're going to put that back in the Merriest Trees set. And then move that out of the way and get our Santa was here. And we'll do that in Poppy Parade because it just seems right for Santa was here to be in red, doesn't it? The Jolly Old Fellow. Whoops, I picked the Melon Mambo. Didn't pick the red. It was on a table across the way and I grabbed the wrong one. Poppy Parade. Let's see if I can get this situated a little better. Get that clean. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can move this like that. All right, we're doing Santa was here. Just make sure that's all coated well. The E didn't quite get as much. I think we're good to go on that. Santa was here. Fun, fun. Okay, now it's going inside the card. We're going to do the little glow thing. Glow stamp. I call it glow stamp. I don't know what you call it, but that looks like a light bulb glowing to me. So we're going to try yellow. I don't know if the glow should be the same color, maybe stamped off as the light, or if it should be yellow. But since I used yellow on this one, I've used the same color on several cards. So we're going to use this one. We're going to use yellow again here, or crushed curry officially for our yellow. And we'll make the tip of the light bulb glow. There we have it. And it didn't look like that filament is really quite dark enough. So I'm going to get that marker and see if I can go over that a little bit. Flirty Flamingo. What a cute name. If you don't have a pretty steady hand, I wouldn't try it. But thank goodness I have a lot of other issues in a lot of other areas. But so far, that has not been a big problem. Yay. Okay. I'm lucky in that, I know, and blessed. I do feel blessed to be able to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and do this full time right now. It's just been awesome. I've always been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on the side and worked full time at another job. So you might not think that you could stay busy full time, but doing videos and classes and prepping and doing tutorials and trying to promote things, and there's a lot to do to be a demonstrator, but it sure is a lot of fun. And dang, I forgot to switch this over. I am so sorry. I meant to have this that big. Sorry. There you go. That should be easier for you to see. I apologize. Get that out of the way. We're just going to glue this on. You could use your Stampin' Seal or your favorite liquid glue. I've just got mine in a little fine tip bottle that I like better. Okay, this is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch white piece. And I've got a little bit of green there, and I'm just not going to worry about it. It's a handmade card. And we're going to use a little bit of Wink of Stella. This might be my old one, but at least we'll get the idea. Yeah, I'd say I'm going to got outside the lines there. That's newer than I thought. It has more goop in it than I thought. There we go. So we've got the bulb on the inside. Now all we have to do is get our little guys cut out, put our little we're going to pop this up. Here we go. Trying to make this so it's pretty quick for y'all to make this card if you're interested in doing that. And I'm not going to put dimensionals in the middle because these are going to be all popped up, all of these. So we're just going to have the 4 corners popped up, and that will be plenty. And if y'all send a lot of cards where you have to use the non-machinable postage, that's the extra. It's not like 2 stamps, but it is more than just the 1 stamp. And there is like a little, right now it's a butterfly. I don't know what they'll do when they go up in January, but I have heard they're going up. Okay, we're going to put that on. It was probably would be easier to put the other stuff on first and then put this, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was just trying to get this step done for you, but just kind of get this where it's an even border all the way around. Then we're going to quickly fussy cut these, but y'all, I wanted y'all to see how quick it really is to do it. Just kind of leave a little outline all the way around. And like I said, this is kind of whimsical. It's not like a traditional card that you feel like would have to be perfect, that you would only want to make one of. This one you could make a bunch, because you would, if you're going to do an assembly line and do multiples, you would want to stamp like, however, if you're going to make 20 cards alike, then stamp all 20 of the Shaded Spruce Christmases one after another. Boom, 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 boom. Then the next color, then the next color, then the next color, and then cut them all out, and, you know, kind of do everything like multiples at one time. And that will be a lot faster for you to finish everything. Instead of, you wouldn't want to make just one card at a time and do the whole thing. Or I wouldn't think you would. I think that would take longer. And there is a die for this, but I think it's just about as easy. These are just straight little lines to cut out a star. And I think this is just as easy to just fussy cut it as it is to go get the right sandwich made, find your die, cut it out, put your die back up before you lose it. All of that. But it's totally up to you. If you were making a bunch of them, it might be worth it to go ahead and die cut, die cut, die cut, die cut. But so you can see how fast that was to do. And we're just doing a little snip, snip, snip. Who out there likes to fussy cut? Anybody like to fussy cut? You think it's relaxing, or do you hate it? I know some people really hate doing it. I don't mind it. I mean, I don't look forward to it, but I don't mind it, especially when it's easy like this, where it's just straight lines and you're not worried about all the innies and outies that you can have with flowers and leaves and all that. Which it's wonderful that Stampin' Up! Does coordinating dies with so many of our stamp sets, don't you think? Do you agree? Do y'all usually buy the dies when you choose a stamp set that has dies? Do you always do that bundle to save your 10%? That's just a heck of a deal. The only time I haven't done that, I almost always regret not buying the other part. You know, if I think, oh, I don't think I'll use those dies, or I don't think I'll use a stamp set, I just want the dies. Later you go, dang, I should have bought that. Now I'm going to buy it, and I'm not going to save the 10% that I would have if it would have been bundled. All right, well, we're almost done, peeps. This card is almost finished. You can see that was really quick to do. Get the trash out of the way so y'all won't have to look at all that. And now we're going to, oh my goodness, let's see what I've done with the foam adhesive strips. Hopefully I put them in here earlier. Yes, I did. I get brownie points for that, don't I? Do I get extra points for remembering to do that after the last video? I'm not going to make these pointy. I think that's a little too pointy. I'm going to kind of round that just a little bit on here. But I did some videos yesterday and today, so I'm trying to get these done so that all the people who didn't get to come last weekend and bought the kits to go can easily get their cards made. Okie dokie. Foam adhesive strips are your best friend on this little front. You can also use the little mini dimensionals. That's what we'll use on the star. And I would do what I've heard referred to, and I really like it, as auditioning your pieces. Let me use my bone folder on that and get that a little flatter so it lays a little flatter for us. There we go. Now, see how much that helps? Awesome sauce. Okay, we're going to have our star, and we'll have A, Merry and Bright. And if you prefer Happy Christmas instead of Merry Christmas, you can certainly do that. We have a happy stamp too. We have a stamp and just an A stamp, and so that you can kind of change up your greetings however you want. So we'll have our tree stacked like that, and then our little trunk at the bottom. I know I want my trunk even with that, so I'm going to do that first. And I'm putting the trunk flat because everything else is popped up and I don't want to double pop that one up. So I feel like the trunk is kind of further in than everything else. So I'm going to stick that right there in the middle and make it come to the bottom where it's kind of grounded. And if y'all are very particular people, you could certainly measure that on each side. But I'm good with just guessing. And we could also do it like this. It just takes up a little more room, and I don't have a ton of room here. I have some room, but I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you like it all boop, 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 back and forth like that, like this one? Or do you like it straight like that one? What do you think? What do you think? See if y'all respond. And let me know what you think. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put those little mini dimensionals that I just put up. We're going to get them back out. I'm going to go ahead and put the star on the top. And then probably use a mini dimensional on the A also, should be plenty sufficient. I think we'll do this one this way and just see what we think. That way you'll know when you make yours that you can do a variety of things with these. Anybody have any questions so far? I told you this was easy and fun. And you just kind of measure on your foam adhesive strips. You just kind of measure how much you'll need for that particular strip. And there we go with the and bright. Now we have Christmas. Doesn't have to be exact and cover the entire back. You just don't want it hanging over. Let's angle that just a little more. I, for once, think I like it straight a little better, but I think this is cute both ways. What do y'all think? If y'all were going to make this card, would you keep them straight like this one? Straight or angled? Straight or angled? Would love to know that in the comments. And that needs a little trimming. I have a little bulge right there. Well, I actually have bulges in more places than that, but right now when we're just talking about the cards, I just had that one bulge. Okay. Moving right along. Let's see if we want that touching or not touching. I think the others don't quite touch. What do you think? I think it's cute both ways. It's kind of fun and a little more whimsical to have it this way. Sorry, my camera evidently is not straight because my cards are straight with me, but they're not straight on camera. So there's your card for the day. Hope you've enjoyed this. And if I'm not sure, I don't remember if I showed you the others or not that we did at the retreat. And if you're interested in the PDF for all 16 cards, I will have that available soon. But right now, here's your card for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you will watch and subscribe and also share with your friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, get back with me, Kelly at createwithkelly.com, and spell the Kelly with Kelley. Fun times ahead. Thanks. Bye-bye.